what you say.
Now let's finish this duel! Well, looky here. I think my luck is beginning to change now.
All right!
Hot agreed lets me draw 2 cards. Sweet!
Hey guys, this is Live from Maniac. Guys, it's about time for our next deck profile. I want to be like, rush it a little bit here and there. So the deck profile of none other than the protagonist directly before you of Joey Wheeler. Joey Wheeler, of course, has a very, very, very odd deck after my opinion. I like it, I love it even, because it's like, it has more focus on mere other things as it does before, because we do not get to witness that many cards, or some cards we do not get to witness at all, like Baby Dragon or Rocket Warrior. I think we do not get to witness, and even about Time Wizard I'm not sure, but I think maybe I'm wrong. By the way, I added it to this deck because I think it still makes all the sense in the world. But yeah, I don't want to spoil that much. I want to just dive into it with all you guys, and then we analyze and sort of search and research all together what this deck profile is all about. So what I did, of course, as always, I did do some additions as we have some anime exclusive cards, helping draw power, or having draw power, and you guys might say a card which is a little bit unusual in this deck profile, but yeah, I was a little bit brave, and I sort of speculated that this card could be here, because this deck profile is very much has a stronger dice focus, or rolling the die, than before. So what I did is I made some additions for the anime exclusive cards, of course. And first of all, I gave him a card which he didn't play out, but I thought, why not? He had Fiberjaw in the Orichalcus arc, so the arc before this one. So I give him Dice Jar, very brave, I know. So I sort of speculated, because we do have many dice cards in here, many more than before. But Dice Jaw, and then he had Fiberjaw in his deck, so I gave 1+1 and made 2, you might say. So Dice Jaw is a light attribute, got 3 stars, is a rock type, of course, 200 attack, 300 defense, but its effect, and that's now very much interesting, is both players roll a 6-sided die once. The player with the lowest result takes direct damage equal to his or opponent result per 500 life points. However, if a winner's result is 6, loser takes 6,000 points of direct damage. If the results are the same, both players roll again. So if it's a draw, you might say, both players, for example, roll the same dice, and you have to start all over again until the one has higher and the other lower. And if the one that is higher has a 6, then you have a big problem, because it's a really risky thing to do. But something which is really unusual for Joey, you might say, is the burn damage. Although in the Battle City arc we had Marik giving him Hinotama, and also Melee of Destruction, so we can tell that he might have considered a card like this to have in his deck, like with the speculation strategy with his dice, and then on the one hand, in the burning ability on the other hand. So why not have this one in here? And he had also, of course, Fiberjar and the Orichalcus arc. So I did make this assumption, And yeah, so we go for it. And this is my first card, which I will give him. So 1 dice turn here. Then we have 1 time wizard. Yeah, I don't have to explain the card. I gave him a 1 time wizard because basically I pretty much certain we didn't get to see this card at all. Light attribute 2 stars, but I think he would have had it. By the way, we just only get to witness 2 duels with Joey Wheeler, which is one against the Solomon Muto and the second one against Siegfried von Schröder, which he loses merely because I think a dice reroll, or no, it was compensation mediation. He chooses the wrong card, and as a result of that, he does lose. Yeah, of course, time was a light attribute 2 stars, 500 attack and 400 defense, spellcaster type, and of course, a very famous effect. You have to flip a coin, I think it is. And if the coin, you have to call it heads or tails, and you call it heads, and it is right, then your opponent is monster destroys it. I think he loses half life points. Or or if you call it wrong, then your monster is destroyed. Monsters are destroyed, and you lose half life points. Of course, in the anime, it was like with making a baby dragon to a 1,000 dragon. Yeah. So now we get to witness cards which are new because he didn't play them before at all. First of all, Sasuke Samurai. Wind attribute 2 stars, warrior type, 500 attack and 800 defense, and it works like that. At the beginning of the damage step, if this card destroys a monster, attacks a monster of your opponent face down defense position, destroy the face down monster immediately without flipping it face up. So there is no damage calculation, and you just can destroy it without its effect being applied, or at least no flip effect being applied. Then I did one thing, because there is one strategic key that we have here, which are all his Landstar monsters, but we do have in the TCG just 2. So I let him all out, except for the, how was it called? Swordsman of Landstar, which I have in here. But I gave him all the Sasuke Samurai monsters that there is. I give him 1 Sasuke Samurai 2, which he doesn't play at all, but except for the Grappler, Brigadier, and the Knight of Landstar, I give him those Sasuke Samurais, so 4 of them. Well, light attribute 1 star, warrior type, 200 attack and 300 defense. Once per turn during your main phase, you can pay 800 life points, and if you do, no one can play any spell or trap cards. So very good, handy effect, of course, if you like then go into main phase 1, activate this effect, then you attack, for example. Your opponent cannot play any spell or trap cards, but you can't either, so you have to wait until you played them and then apply this effect. I am Sasuke Samurai 3, of course. Light attribute 4, 3 stars, warrior type, 1000 attack, 1000 defense. If this card puts battle damage to your opponent's life points, your opponent draws cards until he or she has 7 cards in his hand. So yeah, you could say 7 cards are not good because 7 cards he has to discard 1 at least at the end of the turn. And that's the downside, is of course your opponent can draw cards, but maybe you can empty his deck faster with that effect. You could have the argument like that, or give the reason that it also could be an upside as well. Sasuke Samurai number 4, light attribute, wind attribute 4 star, warrior type, 1200 attack, 1200 defense. If this card is battling, you can flip a coin before damage calculation, and if you choose heads or tails, and if you set the result correctly, then you destroy the opponent's monster with this effect, so without damage calculation. So similar to the first one, but not just applying for face down defense position monsters and then without with the coin flip effect in combination, you might say, or combined. I gave him 1 Sunsword of Landstar, an Earth attribute, 3 stars, warrior type, 500 attack, 1200 defense. There is another TCG card, but it's a tuner, and I didn't find it here, so I let it out. You might do it in here or put it into the deck if you want. 1 little Wingard, which he also used. Wind attribute 4 stars, warrior type, 1400 attack and 1800 defense. Once per turn during your end phase, you can change the battle position of this card. So, like, if it's attacked, you can change it into defense position, of course. Alligator Sword, which you also played, I think, even against Solomon Muto. Earth attribute 4 stars, beast type, 1500 attack and 1200 defense. Next up is Ziegfried the Iron Knight, which has also a centered role in this arc, but I will be coming to that. An Earth attribute 4 stars, a warrior type, 1800 attack, 1600 defense. Of course, equipped spell cards are not applying to this card, so they are destroyed immediately if equipped to this card. Blue Flame Swordsman. Also, we had this card in this very deck. We played it out. Fire attribute 4 stars, warrior type, 1800 attack, 1600 defense. Once per turn during the battle phase of a random player, you can choose one other warrior type monster that you control. This card loses 600 attack, and if you do, the monster that you choose gets 600 attack boost. If this card that you control is due to a card of your opponent through battle or a card effect and is destroyed, brought to the graveyard, you can remove this card from play and then choose one fire attribute monster with type warrior in your graveyard and special summon it as a summon it as a special summon. And of course, it's very much a reference to the Flame Swordsman, which I do not have in here, but I gave him his retrain, which is a fighting Flame Swordsman. Fire attribute 4 stars, warrior type, 1800 attack, 1600 defense. If the card's normal or special summon, you can add one spell trap that mentions Flame Swordsman from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send one Flame Swordsman or one monster that mentions it from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. Except fighting Flame Swordsman, you can only use each effect of fighting Flame Swordsman once per turn. So yeah, this is also of course alluding to the support Flame Swordsman cards, which I do not have in here, but it wasn't the main reason why I put this card in the deck, so we do not care at all. Panther Warrior, Earth attribute 4 stars, 2000 attack, 1600 defense. Of course, in order for this card to attack, you have to offer one card as a tribute. 1 Goblin Attack Force, Earth attribute 4 stars, 2300 attack, 0 defense. If this card attacks, it is changed to defense position at the end of the battle phase, and this battle position cannot be changed until the end phase of the next turn. So very great downside. And with this card, by the way, Joey Wheeler defeated Solomon Muto. 1 new card, maximum 6. An Earth attribute 6 stars, warrior type, 1900 attack and 1600 defense. If this card has been tributed, and you can if it is tribute summoned, if you offer another monster as a tribute, which you have to have because it's 6 stars, then you can roll 1 6-sided die. This card's attack is increased by the result of the dice roll per 200. So a very good attack boosting engine right there. Paladin of Dark Dragon, dog attribute 4 stars, a dragon ritual monster, 1900 attack, 1200 defense. You can ritual summon this card with Dark Dragon ritual at the start of the damage step. If this card attacks the defense position monster, destroy that monster. So also really much a reference or alluding to Sasuke Samurai or the other way around. And then there is no flip effect applying or no damage calculation. And then you can tribute this card, especially when one red eye is from your monster from your hand or deck, and it's a once per turn effect. So also we do of course have red eyes in here. On the one side because he had it, and one of the other side of course it makes all the sense in the world in combination with the dark Paladin of Dark Dragon. Yeah. One Jinzo, what can I say? It was also in this arc, and I think is a very iconic and essential card to Joey Wheeler's deck. It's very aggressive in nature, and still has to deal with trap cards of opponents. Dark Attribute 6 stars, machine type, 2400 iconic attack and 1500 iconic defense. Of course, all trap cards are be negated, and all other trap cards cannot be activated. Yeah, love this card. One of my favorite top 3 cards of all time, monster cards of all time. Of course, Dark Attribute, 7 stars, Dragon type, 2400 iconic attack, and 2000 defense. Like I said, Red Eyes Black Dragon also makes sense, along with the Paladin of Dark Dragon. Then we have Gifford the Sword Master. Not sure if we saw this card, but we saw him playing release. I'm sorry guys, my camera just broke down, I don't know why. But I was saying Gifford the Sword Master, we saw Release Restraint in his hand. I don't know if he played out this card, but yeah, it makes all the sense in logic that this card would be in his deck as well then with the Release Restraint, because his card Release Restraint has the ability to get this card out, and this card works has as a light attribute got 7 stars, 2600 attack, 2200 defense. A warrior type. This card cannot be normal summoned as a normal summon or being set. This card cannot be special summoned, except with the effect of Release Restraint. If this card is equipped to this equipped spell card, destroy one monster on the field on the side of your opponent's side of the field. Last but not least, we saw Guilford the Lightning, a light attribute, 8 stars, warrior type, 2800 attack and 1400 defense. Its effect works like that. If you tribute 3 monsters for this card, which you do not have to, but if you do, all monsters on your opponent's side of the field are being destroyed. So this is the monster lineup. You might make a copy, a photo, whatever. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm removing them. We are getting into the spells, which are also very unusual in nature after my stance and view, of course, indeed. We have many spell cards which are anime exclusive, so had made very many additions. We had the cards like Roll of Fate and Star Blaster, which give this deck much draw power. But before we come to that, the additions that I made, we talking about the spell cards that he actually had in his deck. First of all, those were Dangerous Machine Type 6, a continuous spell card. It works like that. During each of your standby phases, you roll a 6-sided dice. If you get the number 1 on the dice, you have to discard 1 card. If you roll 2, your opponent discards 1 card. If you roll 3, you can draw 1 card. If you roll 4, your opponent can draw 1 card. If you have 5, you can destroy 1 monster of your opponent. If you have 6, you have to destroy this card. So like up and down card, very high speculation. A matter of high speculation, which is a typical style of Joey Wheeler. 1 giant Trunate. We saw him play this out, I think. I don't know when, by the way. But yeah, of course, all spell and trap cards on the field get to the owner's hands. Graceful Dice, of course, we had in here. Roll a 6-sided die. All monsters you currently control gain attack equal defense equal to the result by 100 until the end of this turn. Of course, in the anime, it just applies for one monster, so it's like boosted this card up. One Dark Dragon ritual. Of course, we had Paladin of Dark Dragons. So here we go. This card uses ritual summon Paladin Dark Dragon tribute monsters, and equal to the start of the Paladin, of course. One premature burial, of course, you have to pay 800 life points and can special summon one monster of your graveyard in face-up attack position. If it's destroyed, this card is destroyed. If this card is destroyed, it's also destroyed. One scapegoat, very good defensive posture and essential to this deck. And a quick spell card, you can of course special summon. Then 4 tokens, which are beast type, beast attribute, earth attribute, beast type, 1 star, 0 attack and 0 defense. Yeah, and they cannot be tributed, of course. Part of Greed, who doesn't know it, you have to draw 2 cards. We had in here. Release Restraint. I think it wasn't played out, but what you saw in his hand. Of course, you can offer one, give it the Iron Knight as a tribute, and special summon one, give it the Sword Master as a special summon from your hand or your deck. I gave him one Monster Reborn. I don't know whether we saw this card. So those are the additions that I made. I think this one is logical in any deck. I gave him for draw power, as we do not have any Roll of Fate or Star Blaster, which are enemy exclusives. I gave him 1 card of Sanctity. Of course, in the enemy you have to draw until both players have 6 cards in his hand. He has to have to banish a whole hand and you can draw until you have 2 only. 1 Roulette Spider, 1 quick spell card. When opponents want to declare an attack roll 6 die, apply the result. First, if you roll 1, half your life points. If you roll 2, make that attack a direct attack. If you roll a 3, choose one monster you control, check the attack target to it and perform damage calculation. If you roll 4, choose one other monster your opponent controls, checks the attack to it and perform damage calculation. If you roll 5, negate the attack, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack. And if you roll 6, destroy that opponent's monster. I gave him 1 reinforcement of the army, as we have many warriors in here, of course. Add 1 level 4 or lower warrior monster from your deck to your hand. I gave him also some equipped spell cards like Lightning Blade, which he had like in Battle City, I think. Equipped to only a warrior type monster, gains 800 attack, and all 1 monsters of the field lose 500 attack. So also anti-warrior, water type engine in here. Foolish Burial, send 1 monster from your deck to your graveyard. And last but not least, the Legendary Sword, equipped only to a warrior monster that gains 300 attack and defense. So this is my spell lineup. Make a copy, make a photo. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm changing the spells when we get into the traps. By the way, we just witnessed few traps in here. Before I also talk about the traps, we also saw him, I think, in his hand 1 polymerization, so we could think that we have fusion monsters in here, but I let them out because he didn't play out any. So to the traps, we just witnessed 2 trap cards being played out. One was Compensation Mediation, the other one was Silver Dollar. And 3, sorry guys, and the third one, of course, Skull Dice, which we are going to start with. Roll a 6-sided die, all monsters your opponent controls lose attack and defense equal to the result per 100 until the end of this turn. Then, I don't know how it's called in English, but luck or something like that. A continuous trap card. If the effect of an effect monster that has to consider 1 coin flip it has been activated, you choose heads or tails, and if you choose correctly, you can draw 1 card. So anytime, because it's like a permanent. And in the anime we had Silver Dollar, but yeah, we do not have Silver Dollar because it's an anime exclusive, so I thought this one as an exchange. Also I give him 1 Gamble, because Gamble also has an coin flip, drawing power engine, so we have like for in exchange for like Roll of Fate or Star Blaster. You can only activate this card when your opponent's hand is 6 or more cards, which you can do, of course, along with Sasuke Samurai, the third effect. And then your hand is 2 or less, toss a coin, call heads or tails. If you call it right, draw until your hand has 5 cards. If you call it wrong, you have to skip your next turn, so it's really risky, but really logical and typical for Joey Wheeler. Then I gave him 1 bottomless trap hole. Of course, if your opponent normal flip or special summons a monster, 1,500 attack or more, destroy a monster with 1,500 or more attack, and if you do, banish it instead. So the only one time we saw him play this card out was in the Virtual World arc, but yeah, I had made to make some additions, and that's what I did. Then I gave him as a last trap card 1 kunai with chain. Activate 1 or both of these effects. If a monster of your opponent declares an attack, you can choose the attacking monster, and then change the target into a defense position, and you can also choose the monster that you control and equip it to that card, and it gets 500 attack, so you can also apply both effects at the same time. So this is it. This is my 40 cards Joey Wheeler Grand Championship deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the like and the subscribe button. Show me some love. Yeah, tell me which strategy you would prefer, or which cards I would exchange. You would exchange that for some cards that I exchanged, which were right, which were wrong. After your opinion, which would make this deck maybe more playable. Which trap cards you would add or take out, which spell cards you would add or take out, and which monster cost lots you would add or take out. So I wish all of you guys a good morning, a good midday, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and whenever you might witness this one. This is me, your Slifer Maniac, and I wish you, give you a big